and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
That boot store reminds you Mother's Day is just around the corner. Make it a Western Mother's Day by shopping that boot store. You'll find a huge selection of Western wear for the youngest to the oldest mother, and at prices you can afford. Gift certificates are available too, so Mom can shop for herself. That boot store open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. That boot store next to Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City. That boot store, where God is good all the time.
What does life after service look like? Kicking back? Taking it easy? We believe it looks a little different. It looks like leading for all veterans, helping shape policies to make certain they get the benefits they've earned, and ensuring every veteran's voice is heard. It looks like advancing to meet today's veterans where they are, lifting them up and strengthening the bond that unites us. It looks like serving when disaster strikes, with boots on the ground helping our communities recover and rebuild. From the capital to our hometowns, we don't just show up when it's easy, we show up when it matters. Because a veteran's mission never truly ends, and neither does ours. The VFW, still leading, still advancing, still serving. Get involved at stillserving.org.
WGSX New Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Stand by. On my mark. You survived the workday. Now survive the truth.
Don't you want to have the best 12 teams in college football playing each other?
It's time for the hardest hitting 2 hours on the Panhandle.
I love it. You're coming through. You got it, baby.
Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day. I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. It's Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Hey, Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
You found us live and local right here at the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves play tonight, 6 o'clock, against them darn Washington Nationals. Don't forget the Braves on the Gulf Coast is sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves is right here. If you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. You can text us, or if you want to call in, we'll take your call gladly. As always, on a Wednesday. Jeffrey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Did you get some sleep? Did you rest? Did you relax? Are you ready to go?
I got a little bitty nap. It was like 18 minutes maybe. And
how do you do that? I don't understand how you can take a nap during the middle of the day. I just can't do it. It just
You're a grown man.
I just don't understand. I think your age is starting to catch up with you. I think older men take naps during the day.
You didn't take naps as a teenager?
No, absolutely not. No.
Man, I would come home from school, and these are the longest naps of my life.
Why would you take a nap? What, you're tired or something?
Yeah, from school. And then I would take a nap, and I'm not kidding you.
He was working hard at school.
I am not kidding you. Almost a 2-hour nap every day after school, and then I would go work out.
Well, I mean,
with weights.
When you were in school, y'all did like the Scantrons with the pencils. Y'all didn't have any computers, no kind of.
They had computers. It
dial up.
It wasn't in every class. It was more like computer lit.
No,
really.
You were doing the what was that game called where you would the Oregon
Snake?
Trail? No, the Oregon Trail.
I don't even know what that is.
You were playing the Oregon Trail. You were playing the Louisiana version. It was called the Swamp Trail. Or something like that. As always, on a Wednesday, we got Bone Crusher in the building with my favorite T-shirt on. How you doing today, Bone Crusher?
Back in my day,
we didn't have graphics on our video games, and we liked it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Pong.
What was your favorite game growing up as a kid that you played on, like an Atari, a Monopoly, or what was the other one called? It was called something.
Television.
The Coleco.
Television.
Coleco. Yeah, Coleco.
Coleco didn't make entertainment systems. They just made cartridges for the games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I knew that. I was wondering.
Television was the major rival to Atari back in the 80s.
Okay.
Before Nintendo kind of took over in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite game?
Actually, I mean, it wasn't like Pac-Man. It was Donkey Kong was pretty big. Believe it or not, there's some oddball ones like Q*bert and Burger Time, but these are really antiquated.
I remember those.
You do remember those?
I remember those.
And then
I don't remember
Atari, there was like Defender and Missile Command, and trying to remember what other one it was pretty big that I was into.
I liked Pitfall.
Pitfall?
Yeah. Where you would, go across and
do you
go
remember
across
one
the
that was
alligators.
called Pole Position?
Yeah.
It was a racing
Pole Position,
game?
yeah.
I like that also.
I remember all of those. Did you have any games growing up, or did you just go outside and play
I had
and ride
the
a bike?
Atari.
Yeah.
I had that Atari, man. I went out and got the book, How to Score a Million in Pac-Man. I had Pac-Man fever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my mom loved Pac-Man. My mom would play Pac-Man and Space Invaders. She turned Space Invaders all the way over. Like, it didn't go all the way. It was 999,999, and then it would just flip over and go to zero. It started over.
And then when I was in high school,
you had to stay up late to do that.
When I was in high school, it was Akari Warrior.
Okay, I've never heard of
another
that.
one. And then right about that time, Mortal Kombat came out, and that was huge.
Yeah, well, Nintendo for me was it. I mean, that was saving the princess, learning how to hit the little turtle thing and up against the steps get them. You get so many free lives, so you could just keep trying until you got her.
So Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Was it a Super Tecmo Bowl?
No, just Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, just
Tecmo Bowl. Then you had RBI Baseball. Then you had Double Dribble.
Okay.
All of those games were awesome, and that was really good.
I mean, there were friends of mine who played Super Tecmo Bowl for like hours, like all night long.
Yeah, we would do the all-night thing. We'd go play all day, do all the stuff at night, and then when it was time for showers and hanging out when everybody would be over, we'd be playing, seeing who could beat who and all of that. That used to be fun.
Try to go back and play these Atari and Nintendo games now.
No.
I mean, after about 5 minutes, I'm bored out of my mind.
Frogger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got on that, but
talking about high school, a buddy of mine, his oldest son, thought he was going to one college, and today, guess what? Flip his commit.
Really?
And his words were, he got paid.
There you go. Where's he going?
Not going to divulge that yet.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, somebody on the Buckeye Don said that Frogger was his game, so there you go. That's exactly right. But when you look at it, I just didn't take naps. That's what we were talking about. I never did take the naps. I was always just hanging out and having a good time. But either way, speaking of having a good time, last night I tried to, after leaving, started listening to the game, and the Braves got down early and didn't work out for the Braves last night.
This was the Nationals.
Yep.
And was this game 3 or 4?
Game number 2.
That was
number 2.
No, that was not game number 2.
Yeah, Monday they played the first time. They finished out the Philly series on Sunday. Then they went to the Nationals on Monday, and then tonight is game number 3.
They had already beat them 2 times.
Yep. Well, the Nationals are 11-13 on the season. The Braves are 16-8, but they lost last night 11-4. Ronald Acuna Jr. was 1 for 5. Drake Baldwin 1 for 5 with a homer. I thought that was going to turn us around. 1 for 4, Ozzie Albies. Matt Olson nor Austin Riley got a hit. See, now that is the epitome of last year when Austin Riley and Matt Olson didn't hit. They were 0 for 7 last night, and that's when the Braves don't do very well.
And they won on Monday, 9-4. Olson and one other guy was hitting like crazy.
Yeah.
It was one of the young guys.
Yep. So, I mean, when you look at it, the Braves had, they had a few hits. It wasn't great, but
well, I mean, that 9-4 on the Monday game.
Yeah,
they were down at 0-2.
Right.
I mean, and then they took control. I don't know, third, fourth inning, and all that.
Yeah. So it went good. I'm okay. They got to win the series though because they're in division.
Well, here's the thing about it.
To win the division.
This is a 4-game series, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So they could split it.
Yeah, you could, but I don't want them to. I want them to win the series. That's what we're trying to do.
And then back playing the Phillies again.
Yep, at home, though. We're at Truist Park.
Meanwhile, the only team in the division they're not playing in this little spurt of games is the declining Mets.
Yeah, let's talk about the Mets. 12-game losing streak. It's a train wreck right now, and it's really bad for them. One little thing about the 12-game losing streak, no team's ever made the playoffs after a 12-game losing streak. So, I guess they could be the first team, but I don't see it. 11 in a row. They knew that was coming up. And the Stars, Francisco Lindor, they said, what's it going to take for this team to turn it around? You know what his words were? We got to win.
I've got to score more than them.
We got to actually beat them in a game. I mean, that's the deal. Something that was kind of strange to me, and it kind of lets you know where the team is headed. Juan Soto, their best player, he's out right now, obviously an injury. They asked him, have you talked to the team? Have you talked to him? Have you tried to pump him up? Have you tried to, give him some insight? He said, no, I haven't spoken to anyone. That's your best player.
I know.
But again, that kind of goes into the Juan Soto deal of him being a selfish player. The whole reason why he didn't go to the Yankees and stay with the Yankees with Judge and them was because they didn't give him a suite in Yankee Stadium. Yeah, so he wanted a suite. The Mets offered him a suite with his deal, and he took the Mets deal, went across town to play for the Mets.
So your friends and family can watch us lose.
I understand. And speaking of losing, I'm not sure about the number that is coming to the games, but the Met fans are not showing up. You know how we always talk about, Cleveland, those Cleveland Brown fans, even though they lose, they show up. Jet fans, even though they're losing, they're showing up. When Philadelphia wasn't winning, they were still showing up. The Cubs, they were still showing up. People were still showing up. When Boston was losing, they're still showing up. The Met fans, they're saying, nope, we're not having anything to do with it. And the thing is that their general manager is still saying they've got very high confidence in the coach. So usually when you have something like this, they usually talk about it. There's usually something brought up. But I don't know. I'm just wondering how in the world can you lose 12 straight games? And, I mean, they supposedly was supposed to be one of the teams to look out for in the division. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, you're sharing your city with the Yankees.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, how many fans can you – what kind of fan pulls for the Mets as opposed to the Yankees if you're in that area?
Yeah.
Do they just love losers? Is that what it is?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. It makes you wonder.
I mean, there's nothing like that for Titletown. You can talk about Green Bay Packers or Dallas Cowboys or Lakers or Celtics, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is like the Yankees.
No.
And even when they're in bad decades – they still are above the average in the Major League Baseball as far as titles go. And I'm not talking about runner-up. I'm talking about titles.
That's true.
So, if you were a fan in a city that had 2 teams, what are you doing? Are you the bandwagon fan, or are you loving the loser?
Well, I mean, you got to love
White Sox or Cubs? Give me your pick.
You got to love the loser. You got to love it but the Mets are just like a regular team that we talk about every year, and when the Mets are winning, it's good for baseball.
No.
You know how we talk about when Miami's winning is good for college football, when Notre Dame's winning is good for college football. When the Mets are winning, it's good for baseball. When the Mets are losing, it's bad. And it's really bad.
That's an East Coast media bias.
I don't think so.
All that is. No, I'm telling you right now.
Any New York team in baseball is
the Brooklyn Nets are going to be good for basketball.
Any team in baseball that's from New York, because there's storied histories. There's no storied history with the Brooklyn
Mets have
Nets.
Storied history?
Absolutely.
86 and 69. That's all I know.
You're only talking about for you to be the person that never talks about championships and only talks about wins.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. The Mets are a storied franchise.
No, they're not.
Yes, they
I'm
are.
sorry. The Dodgers is historic.
Yeah, they are.
It doesn't matter what city they're in.
Right. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they started in Brooklyn. Yeah, but
the Mets are not. No, they're not even in the top 10.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
They're definitely in the top 10.
They're above the Braves.
Probably, yeah. Their fan base, yeah, probably.
No, I'll disagree.
We're talking about New York.
I'm talking about New York Mets.
No.
They're not top 10.
Name your top 10 storied franchises in Major League Baseball.
Right off the bat. Easy.
Let's go.
Red Sox?
Yep.
Yankees?
Yep.
Tigers?
No.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Cubs?
Yes.
Braves? Dodgers?
Yes.
Giants? That's 7 right there.
Maybe Giants.
Cardinals for sure.
Cardinals,
easy. That's 8. That's just off the top of my head. Shoot, this is where you're going to get a little hard.
This is where it works.
I don't know about the Indians, Guardians.
No,
I don't know about that. Reds for sure, 9, and the Athletics.
No,
there you go.
No.
Who are you arguing? Braves? Are you throwing out the Braves?
You could throw out the
not the Giants.
How many championships does the
not
Braves
the
win?
The New York Giants probably have more titles than the New York Mets. Oh wait, they do. Wow!
But that's not
they're
what we're
third
talking
in their
about.
own city, and one of them ain't even there anymore.
Yeah, why aren't they there anymore? Because they're not relevant. They had to go all the way across the continent.
That's totally untrue.
They had to go all the way across the continent.
Totally untrue. I just named 10 off the top of my head. There's only one that you can argue. Actually, I didn't even include the Indian Guardians.
But the Athletics
maybe
haven't been relevant for 25, 30 years.
I'm telling you, the Tigers are probably the only one in that 10
the Tigers,
that you
the
could
Braves,
argue.
the Athletics, all of those teams, they're not storied. Name 10 players from any of those teams. You probably can't.
Actually, I can. For the Reds, I definitely can.
No, I'm talking about can you name
Tigers? No.
The Tigers.
No,
can you
I
name
cannot.
the Athletics? Can you name 10 people?
Athletics
you're
would be
say
interesting. It'd be
Jose
pretty close.
Canseco and Mike McGuire, and that's it. I mean, that's all you know.
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah. I mean, but where did Ricky
They
play?
had good pitching too, though.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, the New York Mets are
I'm telling you, the
historic.
Tigers are maybe the only one. So maybe they're number 10, maybe in historic franchises.
So I've got
in
you.
baseball.
I've got you on my side on that.
Oh, they're number
Yes.
10. Okay.
Yeah,
if you throw out the Tigers,
they're in, right?
They're number 10.
I mean, but they're in. They're a historic.
Yeah, because the
franchise.
Royals are definitely not.
No,
they're not.
And I mean, really, if you look at all of these other teams, they haven't been relevant in a long. Giants are not relevant. Not right now.
What?
They
won 3 titles last decade. The Giants won 3 titles last decade. Do you not realize this? When's the last Mets title? 86? I had acne.
Look at
I was ugly and had acne, and I couldn't get a date for anything. I was a teenager.
Well,
that's how bad this was.
Number 1, do you feel like you're handsome now? Number 2, do you think can you still
I
get
am
a date?
pretty. Prettier than back then.
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with Jeff? Let me go ahead and.
I'm more historic than the Mets.
Oh my gosh, the Mets are historic, and we can argue all you want about it.
They're not that good for baseball.
They're
They're better
in the
for
playoffs.
baseball than the Brooklyn Nets are for basketball.
Of course,
and that's not saying a whole lot.
And they're better than the Jets are for football. They're in.
Let's not even step into that disgusting mess.
But I'm just saying, I think so. I think that's the deal.
No, East Coast media bias, sorry.
Well, it's biased because we're on the East Coast.
Because it's the biggest city in the nation.
Right. That's why. Yeah.
And where's all the media?
If the Mets
where are the news guys
If the Mets were in Phoenix, it wouldn't be no big deal.
Yeah.
If the Mets were in Oakland,
Tampa,
it wouldn't be no big deal.
Yeah.
If they were in Tampa, it wouldn't be no big deal. But they're in New York. The New York Mets, the New York Metropolitans.
Yeah, they're second fiddle.
They may be.
And every second fiddle's left town. The Dodgers left town. The Giants left town. These guys don't have it even in their head that they can't compete with the Yankees. The Yankees are the historic franchise in any sport. Maybe there's some soccer team in Europe that's maybe more historic, but that's it.
We can look up the attendance. We can look up the viewership. But the Subway Series has a lot more viewers than most.
They didn't even do this until like 20-something years ago.
I'm just saying, well, the last 20 years.
They never even met each other in a World Series.
If you look at it, they have a audience of people, millions of people that are New York Met fans. I guarantee you, as you sit right here, hold on, let me finish this statement. I guarantee you can name 10 Met players in your lifetime. For
my
sure.
lifetime?
Of course.
I could probably name 5 just off the 86 Mets.
Yeah. And then you definitely can name 5 off of the others, from Bobby Bonilla to Mike Piazza.
What? I bet you the Marlins have probably been to the World Series just as much as the Mets have been in the last 30 years.
Maybe, but the Marlins are not. You're banking,
and they're the 4th best team in the division because the 5th place team is the Nationals.
And you're banking that on just wins of championships. Whereas yesterday we were talking about Brian Kelly not being very successful in the SEC.
He wins games,
but he didn't win the championships. He won games, but he didn't win the championships. So I think it's very funny. But I love it. I love the passion that you have. But it feels good when I can change your mind.
I'm not even sure if I didn't have the Phillies in there, did I?
No, you didn't. Yeah.
So they're not number 10.
No, the Tigers and
Tigers are out. And Phillies in. Mets are 11 at the best.
I think you hate the Mets.
No,
maybe more than the New York Yankees.
Don't see it. And you don't even like orange.
No, I don't. It's pretty bad. But let me go ahead and do some breaking news right now. Just came on the wire. A new deal in Tuscaloosa. Kalen DeBoer has agreed to a 7-year extension worth $12.5 million per year, including a $2 million raise. The buyout details are as follows: $10 million through January 2027, $8 million through January 2028, and $6 million through January 2029. So Kalen DeBoer, whoever thought that see what I mean? You make the playoffs, you get an extension. You don't get fired. He made the playoffs, got destroyed by Indiana, but he still got an extension. Brian Kelly beat Nick Saban.
Kelly of Alabama.
He beat Nick Saban.
He's the Brian Kelly of Alabama.
But he never made the playoffs, and that's why he got fired. So it's all about the playoff. All right. Either way, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we got Aaron Bearden going to be on the line talking about what's going on with this crazy, crazy card market. You don't want to miss it. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. You can't fool players, because if you look at the top teams in the league, look at their star. SGA, scoring champ, star, OKC. Wemby, San Antonio. Denver, Jokic, best player in the world. Minnesota, Ant. Boston, Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Detroit, the great Cade Cunningham. I love Jalen Brunson. He's not that list.
The Herd. Weekdays 2 to 4. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Mostly sunshine the rest of the day with a moderate breeze coming out of the south at 13 miles per hour. And look for it to be 77. Tonight, there will be mostly clear skies with the temperature reaching 63. Sunny tomorrow with a wind around 8 miles per hour and the high of 78. Friday will have a high of 77 and mostly sunshine. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards, and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfurt Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
His major in college?
We're going streaking through the quad!
LSU Jeff is part of the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
Come on, everybody, we're going!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now, taking your collection to the next level. It's the Instant Replay Sports Cards Box Break. With Aaron Bearden on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves are sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Billberg Kia, PCB Hobby, Blue Diamond Truck Accessories. You can hear them right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Hopefully they'll turn it around today. Either way, we are excited about having you here with us today. If we could, I'm excited. We're going to go to the phone line. We've got Aaron Bearden from Instant Replay Sports Cards. Aaron, how are you doing today, my friend?
Fantastic. How are you guys doing?
We are doing exceptionally well. I got a question for you. Maybe you can kind of be in the middle here to give us a little bit of tipping the scale. Is the New York Mets a storied Major League Baseball organization?
As far as, having a lot of history and, a lot of big moments and all that, I'd say so, but not always for the right reasons.
Yeah. Top 10, maybe? Would you give them top 10?
For franchise?
Yes.
Sort of, I don't know. I mean, you got a lot of old franchises, with a lot of history out there. I mean, obviously, your Yankees and Cardinals, Cubs, White Sox, Red Sox.
White Sox. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you go back to, obviously, 1919.
Oh.
Just great players going back in the 50s with the White Sox. Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough call. I'd sit down and think about, who are the most sort of noteworthy franchises, not just winningest, but...
Well, I think
who sort of added to the story of baseball.
When I think of the history of the Mets, I think of two things. The Miracle Mets jumping up and down, celebrating in 1969, which is before I was born.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even...
That's historic.
I wasn't even around then.
Yeah, I wasn't around yet. Yeah. And in 86, it was Bill Buckner and the ball rolling between his legs. And that wasn't even a Met, it was a Red Sox.
Yeah.
So when I think of the Mets, I actually think of a Red Sox player. That's not good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that '86 World Series.
It was a big year
because I was not a big Red Sox fan, particularly growing up. Going to Fenway sort of gave me a new perspective on that. But yeah, that was an amazing World Series, and one of those perfect storm things where so many little things went wrong or happened a certain way that any one little thing had changed. Wouldn't have been in a position for that ball to go through Buckner's legs. So I think the guy is unfairly maligned in sports history. He was a very, very good ball player. He made an error at the worst moment you could ever make an error.
Yeah. Can you name who hit the ball?
Mookie Wilson.
That's right. Mookie was the man on that one. Yep, that's right. So.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Mitchell scored the tying run. Calvin Schiraldi, threw a wild pitch or something? I mean, yeah, you can go back through. There's a bunch of names in there, guys that did, a little thing. Jim Rice was not the most aggressive base runner in that postseason, that maybe he should have been a little more aggressive. Yeah, there was just so much going on there. They had swapped pitchers at the start of the season, thinking they would never face each other because it's pre-interleague play.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Schiraldi had gotten traded, and boy, what was the whole history of it? Yeah, it was Seaver was playing for, the Sox instead of the Mets. It's a whole weird thing. There's a great big made-for-TV dynamic going on there.
Yeah, it definitely was a big deal. A little history. The guy that was the backup for Bill Buckner was named David Stapleton. He was from Mobile, Alabama, and everybody always thought if Stapleton would have been there, he would have made that play.
Yeah, well, normally in that situation, they would have put Don Baylor in and let him play the last couple of innings as a defensive replacement. And they didn't do that. They let Buckner in the game. So,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it was one of those things. But, yeah, you kind of helped me a little bit. You gave a little bit of firepower because, we're –
because he even threw the White Sox in there, and that's not top 10, but the Mets are not top 10.
Okay, well,
I would go with, I'm not talking about recent White Sox. I'm talking about the 1919 World Series, the effect it had on baseball. That's what led to the baseball having a commissioner, for better and for worse, certainly. That changed a lot of things. So that's an important part of the history of the game, even if the franchise itself is not a successful one overall.
Yeah, I think that's the deal. I think Jeffrey is mushing them together. I'm calling it historic. He's thinking winning. He's thinking only about championships and about winning.
What else is there? I mean, if you're not winning
coming
or
from
winning
an LSU
championships,
fan, I don't know.
I mean, it must be drama because, I mean, your most important team of your franchise is called Miracle Mets. It's a miracle that they even won.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
It is true. I mean, yeah, that's part of it. Well, Aaron, what is going on in the card market this week? I know that there's some big-time stuff that came out. Give us a little preview of what's out there, maybe what's coming up.
Yeah, Bowman basketball hit the market today, which is kind of a neat little conglomeration of different things. It's your NBA players, it's your collegiate players, and it's some of the women collegiate players as well. So it's a fun little mix of people you can pull out of that product. A lot of good value there.
So,
and first time we've had a real Bowman basketball release in a long, long time.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. When's the last time that we had one? And then do they do anything special? Is there autos and all of that kind of stuff in there, a other type of deal?
Yeah, autos. I haven't seen enough of it open. I actually haven't been in the shop all day today to see enough of it get open to know if we have some continuations of things like the last year we had the red rookie alternate cards in there that you could trade in for Fanatics credit and stuff like that. I haven't seen enough detail on the product yet to know how many of those sorts of things are happening this year, but I'm sure it's going to be loaded. When you're mixing in your NBA stuff, so you've got like Cooper Flag rookies, plus you've got all your top collegiate players that are going to be in the next NBA draft, plus the future WNBA stars as well, people like Juju Watkins and stuff like that. So, a lot of good potential there. Gives three different angles for this product to have legs for years to come.
Now, as far as the card itself, like, does it have? It's not the old school Bowman where it's really the card is real papery. I mean, did they change that? Is it kind of a slicker, more you know?
Yeah, if you've collected Bowman, say Bowman baseball. Recently, these look exactly like the newer Bowman baseball releases.
Okay.
It uses the same design as the 2025 Bowman draft that just came out like a couple of months ago.
So that's really good. Now, let me ask you this. When you talk about bringing cards into the shop, and you guys are really good at, giving people honest opinions about what they have, I know there's a stigma about grading Give us a little bit of what you think about that and kind of talk us through how that works for if I need a card that I want to see maybe to get graded to see if it can, get graded and see if it can be worth a little bit more money than just being a raw card.
Sure. Yeah, grading something that still kind of mystifies a lot of collectors. A lot of myths out there about it. So at its core, grading is essentially the process of sending your card to a third-party company, ideally where there are experts who will review your card, they'll magnify it, they'll study it, they will assign it a numeric grade, usually from 1 to 10, based on industry standards of condition, from a 1 being a poor card, that just looks like it's been torn and played with and run over and left out in the rain, all the way up to a 10 being usually a gem mint or pristine card that basically is, perfect. And that process sometimes can scare people a little bit. We are a CGC authorized dealer. We send in submissions for our customers to CGC and can save you some money doing that, but it also means we do a lot of the paperwork for you. You basically come in, bring your card, fill out, a little bit of paperwork saying, your name, what your card is, and you pay the fee, and we send it off for you and deal with CGC ourselves. And then they send it back, we give you a call, and you come pick your card up, and it is sealed in a CGC graded case, or sometimes called a slab, with a lot of newer collectors. And then it is sonically sealed, so as not to damage the card. It is airtight, waterproof. It's got a UV coating layer on it to protect it from fading. And it's basically going to stay in that shape as long as you keep it in that case. You have to break them open to get the card out.
Okay, so do they offer a buyback on that as well, or is that just other conglomerates?
No, the grading companies themselves should not. That would be a conflict of interest. I know that PSA does, and they've taken a lot of heat for that, and it is, like I said, it's a conflict of interest. Yeah. They have had a couple of issues with the PSA company where they've graded someone's card and given it, say an 8 or a 9, and offered to buy the card from that person, and then they regrade the card internally and bump it up to, say, a 10 and turn around and resell it themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. To me, that seems a bit dishonest. But again, that's why we don't do PSA here at the shop. We don't recommend using them because of all the negativity around them. Their graders are not as experienced as a lot of the other companies. We go with CGC. They're backed by Fanatics, and they are the number one worldwide trusted company in grading currency and comic books, and then they got into doing sports cards, and they're bringing that integrity with them.
I got you. Let me ask you this about that, because it's kind of one of those things. I've watched, videos of people opening the cards, and it aggravates me because of this very reason. Whenever they open a card and they look at it and they're like, oh, this is a great card, it looks awesome, but then they start nitpicking about the spacing or the way that the card was manufactured. Why don't the manufacturers either make it an error card? Now I'm getting aggravated. You can tell in my voice. Why don't they make it an error card and make it more valuable, or they let me send it back to them? Because if I buy a vehicle at a car lot, and when I drive off and it breaks down on me, I should be able to take it back, and they should be able to give me another vehicle or give me something. You don't go to the store and buy a sack of potatoes and open the potatoes and all of them are rotten. You don't go buy a sack of oranges and all of them's got mold all over them when you open them up. I mean, why do they do that? What is going on? Why? I don't understand that, because the person bought the pack at full price of what the company was selling. They open the pack, they get the card out. The card is this card that's worth whatever money, and then they're like, oh, well, it could be worth this if it had a 10, but it's a 7 or it's an 8 because the manufacturer made this one a little bit off center. Like, how does that even make sense, or make it make sense?
Right. No. I will say first, it's great that you are neutral and ambivalent about it. I think that's you don't want to get too worked up about it. No, I get what you're saying. what it came back to, what it was a long time ago, was the cards were a bonus. They were thrown in. If initially in the old days of cards, you bought a pack of gum, you got a few baseball cards with it. They were so cheaply manufactured, and they had no real resale value. So the card companies didn't care if the card was a little off center, if the color was off, whatever. They were like, hey, you got 10 cards for a nickel.
Yeah.
Right? You'll buy another pack of gum in a couple of days, you'll get more cards. Now I get it. People are paying crazy money sometimes. Manufacturers are putting out boxes they know cost. So, I mean, literally sometimes you have a product come out where it's a couple of $1,000s for the product, and you get a handful of cards. You know, basically you're paying hundreds of dollars per card out of that pack.
Yeah.
You don't want to open that up and your card be horrifically cut where it's so off-centered, or the corners are already bumped inside the pack, or anything like that. You want to, like you say, you want to pay for, a brand new automobile. You don't want a lemon.
Right.
But a lot of times what they will do, if your card has legitimate damage, Topps, for example, has something on their website where you can go through and show them a picture and say, hey, look, I just opened this pack up, and this card has got this, crazy defect on it or whatever, and this was a valuable card. A lot of times they do what they can to replace that card.
Okay.
So now if it's just a base common card and it comes out and it's going to be a little off-centered or something, they're probably not going to do much because they're going to say, that was a 25-cent card. Hey, they're not all going to be 10.
Right.
And the truth is, if every card out of the pack was a perfect, pristine 10, then the cards that are graded a pristine 10 wouldn't have any value.
Yeah, true.
Like that is sort of, you're looking at certain cards that get sent in where you say, hey, people are sending in good ones that they find, and only one out of every 75 is good enough to get a gem mint on this card. That's what makes it a premium.
Wow.
And not being a gem mint, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with a card if it comes back as a 9. That is a mint condition card. That is sort of, what you feel like you're owed when you open a pack.
Yeah.
Like, give me a mint condition card, doesn't have huge defects on it. And I understand they're not all perfectly 50-50. There's going to be little variations here and there. But if everything was perfect, then nothing would be perfect, and nothing would carry that kind of premium.
So when did they start doing the near mint, and then changed it to the numbering system? Did they do? Because I thought it seemed like they were always, it was mint, near mint, that kind of thing, good, fair, all of that.
That came into more prevalence when grading took over, and they could put a number on the label, so you could sort of easily see from 1 to 10. Okay. I think a lot of people now collecting, even people that are buying and selling graded cards, may not know exactly what all of those grades mean. And there are industry standards as far as to say what's the difference between a 6 and a 7 when it comes to centering allowances, or a difference between an 8 and a 10. There are, little bits of leeway where you go, look, everything else about this card is perfect. The corners look great. The color's great. There's no scratches or anything. But the centering is, instead of being 50-50 all the way around, like you think of getting a picture hung up in your house with a mat and a frame, you want that 50-50 centering. Instead of that, maybe the card is 70-30, or something like that, 65-35. Well, that's not a 10 anymore. That bumps it down a little bit to a different grade. So you can sometimes have cards that aren't 10s that still look very, very good.
Yeah.
And have what we call eye appeal.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of that in the studio here, eye appeal.
We have a lot of people, they'll collect, like vintage cards especially, and say, look, it can have damage on the back. As long as the front looks good, the image of the player is crisp. Sometimes on the back you're going to have particularly old cards, 50s and 60s. Kids would go through and scratch out the team name if the player got traded and write the new name on it or something like that. That drops the condition down, the grade, a ton.
Yeah, of course.
Which will have people go, yeah, but the front looks good. I can't afford this card in a 7 or an 8. It might be, $5,000 or $10,000. This one's only a 2 or 3. It's a couple $100, and I don't have to look at the back of it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that's a lot of information, and I'm glad that you were able to square it up for us, because I was getting a little frustrated. So they will honor some of that on a more expensive card. That's good to know. Well, Aaron, give us the hours of operation and the location and what you got going on this weekend.
Definitely. Hey, we're here 7 days a week, 752 West 23rd Street in the Stanford Station with Academy Sports and Sweet Frog. We're open 7 days, Monday through Friday, 11 to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, Sunday 12 to 6 p.m. We got weekly kids club on Friday night. We've got Pokemon League on Saturday night. In-store sports card box breaks on Saturdays at noon. That's a huge one. That's a lot of fun. Don't miss out on that one, particularly if you want to see some stuff like this new Bowman basketball. We'll be opening some of that this Saturday. So check all that out. You can catch us with more information at instantReplaySportsCard.com and bring those cards in for that CGC grading. We can bump the value up quite a bit for you and handle all the headaches and the confusion of it, walk you right through it.
Awesome. Well, we sure do appreciate you coming on, and everybody go see them. It's going to be an awesome weekend, so it'd be a good time to go get your cards graded and see what is opened over there with the Bowman Chrome and all of that stuff. So thank you so much, Aaron. We appreciate you, my friend.
Absolutely. You guys take care. Everybody be good. Be safe.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the NBA. There's some playoff games going on last night and tonight. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
That ball is going to be out of here.
The Atlanta Braves are crushing it.
Look out, Chop House, gone.
And tonight, the NL East leading Bravos are taking it to the Washington Nationals. First pitch from D.C. coming up at 6 right here on your spot for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. Thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
Salty Suds Pet Wash is open and ready to serve you and your furry friend. We offer an indoor, self-serve, climate-controlled area for your convenience. Choose between a variety of shampoos, flea and tick treatment, and a deodorizer. Dry them with a high-suction vacuum and powerful dryer. We only charge $20 for 20 minutes with a new app and membership that is now available for only $40 a month, up to 4 washes per month. We are located at 19987 Panama City Beach Parkway in PCB. Got a salty dog? We'll make them sweet again at Salty Suds Pet Wash.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results. Here's MaxFit Sports Nutrition owner Jason Kovaleski.
So if you're looking to advertise, or if you have a small business and you're looking to drive traffic to your store, check out ESPN 104.3 with Coach James Hale Show. I've been working with them for 7 years. They've driven a lot of traffic to my business. It's one thing to advertise on the radio where people may hear it. It's another thing to be able to come on, talk to your customers directly.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Monster, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight, right after the show. First pitch, as soon as we go off the air. We're hoping that the Braves can turn it around tonight and beat those dirty, no good Washington Nationals. Don't forget the Braves are sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Billbird Kia, PCB Hobby, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories. If you want to be a part of the show, you always can be. You can text in or call in 850-215-6290. I see your comment. My wife said that was dumb for Alabama to extend Caleb DeBoer. Well, you are exactly right, and you know exactly how I feel about that. So, yes, we are not happy about this. I want to read a message from yesterday on the text line that came in after the show or during the show that I did not get a chance to read. And it's about Gator fans. And so with the way it goes today, with Todd Golding getting interviewed and talking about Thomas Hawk coming back. And then the question was, but are you coming back? And Golden said something. He didn't say, yes, I'm coming back, definitely. He said, I'm looking. You know what? Let me read it. Because I don't want to miss this one. Because he said, I'm definitely planning on coaching the Gators. So Todd Golden's answer, I'm going to read it again. I'm definitely planning on coaching the Gators. So, I mean, that's, I don't know, man. What do you think? Tell me what you think, because you moved up to the microphone. Tell me what you think.
Well, the way you say it sounds like a hesitation.
I'm mad at a little problem.
It sounds like, well, yeah, sure, that's what my plans are, but plans are meant to be changed.
Yeah. So I'm going to read this message from a Gator fan yesterday. I don't think any of us Gator fans want to see Golden leave, but many of us have said for a while, if he ever does, it will only be for the NBA. Normally, you would think Golden State would be a pretty premier job, but not right now. They're in full rebuild mode, whereas Florida's got the table set to run it back again, potentially be the top overall 1 seed and potentially another championship. That being said, Donovan returning would be a nice consolation prize, but I don't think many of us believe that in his 60s and years removed from recruiting in the new NIL stuff that we would even be interested in entertaining that prospect, which is kind of what you said.
Calipari and Patino older?
Yes.
Then what are we talking about? You're age discriminating. It makes no sense. Do you not think that Arkansas and St. John's is getting recruits? These are teams that are in the Sweet 16.
Tom Izzo.
I mean, come
Kelvin
on.
Sampson.
The Gator fans, maybe it's just one Gator fan. I don't know. But this is age discrimination. And just because the guy hit 60, Nick Saban's like 75 or 76. I've lost count at this point. I mean, you can't give up on a guy like that. Donovan coming back, you should be super happy. I don't even know what to say about all that. That's craziness.
But Todd Golden's not leaving as of right now, and you know that
he's not planning on it.
No, I'm not planning on leaving.
But, you have to make it through TSA.
Depending on how much money you offer me, I could plan on leaving. And so, I mean, for me, it would seem like that would be the dirtiest of the dirty if he were to leave.
Why?
It would, because your best 3 players. So
because your best 3 players are staying. Oh, it sounds like what Bruce Pearl did a year ago when he waited till May to say, "Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to retire," and they'll just put my son in there.
Yeah, well, Todd Golden is not old enough to have a son that can coach college, so we don't have to worry about that. But I really think that there's a chance. There is a chance that if he does stay, that Florida is looking really top notch. For that. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and go to the phone line. We got AJ on the line from Panama City Beach. AJ, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, Paul. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. So, give us some clarification. I'm planning on being the coach. I'm planning on, I'm planning on to maybe stop by and eat something at a restaurant on the way home. But if my wife were to call me and say, don't go to the restaurant, I would be planning on to go home like my wife said to. Give me some clarification here because I'm confused.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. I said, man, he could have gave us a little more confidence behind that response. But, he didn't close the door in totality, right? But I do think if you look at the players, that are returning, I understand NIL probably has some impacts with that as well. But, I don't see Tommy coming back if there was a change in that.
Yeah.
Kondo, some of the moves that are being made there, I feel pretty good about it. Him sticking around, but I caught a glimpse of. I guess someone was saying we wouldn't take Billy Donovan.
Yes.
Is that what I heard on the radio just a minute ago?
Yeah,
That's
that was a fan. That was a Gator fan. I know he doesn't speak for all Gator fans, but that is a Gator fan. You know, he said that.
Yeah.
Thank you, but no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that take, I guess, but that wouldn't be mine. I think we would welcome Billy Donovan back with open arms. You know, I mean, he's still a hell of a coach. Would there be some adjustments, you know, with the whole era that we got nowadays? I'm sure. But, you know, I think speaking for me as a Gator fan, you know, Billy Donovan is definitely someone we would take back. But, you know, right now I think Todd Golden's still going to be the guy.
Yeah, and if you look at it, though, think about what the marketing they could do in Golden State with having your head coach named Golden. I mean, gosh, that would just be a marketer's dream. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with that. And then on the flip side, if you look at it, Billy Donovan, the floor's named after him. So, I mean, they could have Billy Donovan's standing on top of his signature on the floor. I mean, this is just, you can't make this stuff up. This is just beautiful and for marketing for sure.
Yeah, it'd be wild. You know, it kind of reminds me of there was that like when Spurrier was coming back to the college ranks, right? Like obviously we didn't make that move and he ended at South Carolina when you know his NFL stint didn't go as well. But you know, like I said, Todd Golden's a hell of a coach. The rumor mill of him to the NBA, I don't think is ever going to go away. I think his contract's even built for it, right? I think for him to, you know, another college to poach him, it's like $11 million, I think I saw, but if he's going to the NBA, it's only a buyout of $2 million. So that tells me he's got the interest, right?
Yeah.
You know, if he's working some deals that way. So now we'll be this year with Golden State. I don't know. There's the other side you got to look at too. I think with Golden State, I think there's like some serious reports about him not returning, but also, you know, with Steph Curry and Steve Kerr's relationship, you know, I think Steph Curry's on like, you know, he's on the tail end, but I don't know. LeBron's got everyone thinking, when does the tail end come right now? But you know, I think if they keep you know, Kerr there, it'd be for Steph Curry. But at least that's what we're hoping as Gator fans, and Todd Golden really sticks around, because I wasn't too pleased with the response. You know, I figure it could be a little stronger in his commitment there, but you know,
considering
his plans to coach for the Gators.
Yeah, considering how strong he is on, you know, in his press conferences, you kind of, he doesn't beat around the bush most of the time anyway. But this was a little bit of a shocking statement. I will say this though, I believe with all heart, all of my mind, that if he can get some guards, they will be a number one, or you know, right there at the top going into the season. Of course, they got to play it, but still. But I'll say this, I will say this, because of the way his contract is built, and with those guys coming back for one more time to do it all over again, if the Gators do end up winning it all, I'm going to go ahead and make the prediction Todd Golden will be in the NBA the following year. I will say that.
Yeah, I would. That wouldn't surprise me. You know, success always is going to bring that attention, and I'll tell you what, don't sleep on A.J. Brown. He didn't play last year, but that was going to be, you know, in the portal a year ago, was one of the big name shooters that were out there that didn't play all last year due to injury. So, you know, I think C.J. Ingram announced today he's returning as well. Didn't hit the portal. So
exactly.
Yeah, Gator basketball is looking bright. You know, it's just that domino of Todd Golden, if we can keep him there, and you know, I mean, obviously he plans to be there, but I don't disagree with plans fall through, right?
Yeah,
I plan to go fishing and the weather changes, and now I can't.
That's exactly right.
AJ, I hope there's one thing that doesn't ruin y'all, and that's expectations, because like a year and a half ago, the way that y'all's season went and everything before you won the title, it really wasn't. It wasn't like you had an expectations of winning the title. But this past regular season, that's where the expectations were definitely raised. And under normal circumstances, which I was called a Gator hater because I said that Florida wasn't going to win it this year.
Yep.
And I was called a Gator hater for it.
Still are.
But I'll tell you where my shift happens now, though. The Arizona, Michigan, and Duke have less of a chance of repeating in their conference to win the title in their conference than the Florida Gators, because Arkansas losing Acuff,
yeah,
Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Alabama,
yeah,
Texas, Kentucky's not back yet.
No.
There's nobody that's there sitting and waiting in the wings to take away the SEC from the Gators. So even though I was a Gator hater for the last month, I'm going to tell you right now.
Jumping on the board.
I'm jumping on the board saying that y'all have a bright future. I hope you don't lose your coach, but don't override, what the expectations are that you're definitely going to win a title.
Wait a
next
minute.
year.
No.
But
they're Gator fans. They're going to win a title.
Yeah.
That's what they want. That's what they're going for.
Just don't ruin it with that whole expectations, because I'm telling you, you're sitting in a great spot right now. You lose that coach, and it's going to shift.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't think Todd Golden would have came to Florida if he didn't understand what the expectations are, to be honest. I think his personality fits it. But you're right, Jeff. Like, look, if you look at 2 years ago, the year prior to the title, it wasn't this, year that you were like, oh, man, we were better than we had been, but it wasn't like we were all jumping on hey, Florida can win the Natty the following year, year that we did win it. But once you get up there, you're not going to be able to tell some Gator fans, hey, don't expect another one. That's going to be hard to do.
It's like Hurricane fans with football right now. I mean, how are you telling us we're not going to be in the get a bye in the playoffs next year? I mean,
that's
come
right.
on. Really?
Notre Dame did, so we should. Well, AJ, we're bumped up against the break, man. We appreciate you, and I believe the Gators will win it next year, and I believe Golden will be out going to the NBA after that. So there you go. There's my prediction. Thanks so much for calling in, my friend.
Then Billy Donovan slides in there after that.
There you go.
Go Gators.
Exactly.
All right,
thank you, man. When we come back, we're going to talk NFL Draft. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The wait is over.
That is gone!
Catch Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, Austin Riley, and all the boys as the Atlanta Braves look to reclaim the East.
A walk-off home run, and the Braves win it.
Follow the journey to October right here. Your official home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
Man, oh man, is he playing some baseball.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Wednesday evening. As we head into tonight, clear skies and a low of 63 with a calm wind. For tomorrow morning, sunshine with a light breeze and a temp near 76. In the afternoon and evening, a wind out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 77. For Friday, mostly sunshine and a high of 78. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
For over 50 years, Coin & Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry has been your diamond headquarters, a local trusted source for diamonds and fine jewelry. And now, get ready for our largest diamond jewelry sale ever, 30 to 75% off. For one day only, Saturday, April 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. When our doors open, diamonds move fast. Don't miss out. Coin & Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry, your diamond headquarters on the corner of 15th Street and East Avenue.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The locals love it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs, with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5, and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food, on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
The Sports Blitz.
Woo! Welcome home, baby.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, the hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the top. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
It is 5 o'clock, and it's a beautiful day on a Wednesday. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves baseball. Tonight, the Braves travel to Washington to hopefully turn it around and win against those Dirty Dog Nationals. Don't forget, the Atlanta Braves are sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories. We are your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Also, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be. 850-215-6290 is the number to call or text in. We will read those as accordingly. You know, we got to talk about the draft. We've got so much to talk about, to uncover. I want to go through some of the picks. I want to go through some of the, some of the talk about who, where, when, how. And but either way, we're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We got Nate on the line that wants to talk about some drafty time. Nate, how you doing today, my friend?
Good, Mr. Wilson. How are you this evening?
We are doing fairly well, partly cloudy with a little bit of sunshine.
Yeah, it's supposed to clear up, but the humidity's killing me.
That's all right. I wondered what the pause was going to be, but either way, you know, they've got stuff for that, so get that taken care of.
Right. So we got draft tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite time of the year because it kind of culminates all the waiting after the Super Bowl and my Seahawks claiming that victory, you know. But I'm looking at there's so much that could happen. I'm not anticipating a lot of changes from the mock draft I have, but, it really, there's some questions I have.
Yeah.
One of which is this kid from Tennessee. Now, you know some people that like Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I think his name is McCoy.
Yep, Jamon McCoy. Yep, did not play all year. He did not play all year, but he is a lockdown corner when he's healthy. But he hasn't been healthy. Right. That's the issue.
Well, and they came out, Tom Palatero on ESPN, and I heard it on the NFL Network with the Good Morning Football. And what we got going on is just, I think the Seahawks might try to pick him up if he's available at 32.
Wow. Well, a lot of people have talked about him possibly sliding to the second round just because they've gotten nowhere with his doctor's reports. I mean, some doctors are saying yay, some doctors are saying no. And, like I said, he hadn't played for a whole year. So, I mean, he hasn't even been available. Normally, Brandon would be here. I do want to put that out there. He's going to be in tomorrow talking more about the draft and all. But, yeah, he could probably shed some light because he was kept hoping that he would come in. So how do you feel about that, going with a guy in the first round that could be possibly an all-pro lockdown corner, but on the flip side of it, will his body allow him to be that?
Well, okay, I mean, look what we had to do with K9.
Yeah.
I mean, K9 got injured his first year, and he had injuries like his first 2 years. And it wasn't until this year, the Super Bowl, where we had two running backs that they could switch off back and forth, gave him enough rest. So when we hit the playoffs, he was the main dog because Zach got hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't see that being any different than what we got going on right now. We may have to look at that. And the doctors up in the Northwest, regardless to what anybody says, but in the Northwest, they've got good doctors, okay? I mean, trust me, we've got good doctors up there. My son's doctor was actually the former Seahawks head doctor.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was sports medicine because he got injured and had some microfractures in his spine, but he's good now because of it. And, I mean, right now some people are saying Sebastian Creeks.
Yeah.
Cheeks. Sebastian Cheeks is a linebacker they're looking at him at 32nd. But I really think if this kid at cornerback, because we lost Woolen, or we got rid of Woolen, I really think that with Mike McDonald and everything going on, I think that if this kid can be healthy, and I think if they get the okay to do that with him, I really think picking him up at 32 is a better choice at this point.
Do you think that having one pick is, the problem for them? Or, I mean, because, they only have 4 picks in this draft, and if you look at, what McShay is saying that Chris Johnson, the other cornerback, who knows? But a trade back is most likely. They'd prefer to take Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price at the better value spot and pick up an extra selection in the process. But if they can't move, Chris Johnson would make sense, as they need a playmaker at corner alongside Witherspoon and recently Josh Jobe.
Right, and they're just a team of like these. They were talking about it today on Good Morning Football, where the multi-positional defensive player is kind of, making their appearance now, and more teams are looking at that option where you've got a light outside linebacker that can still cover the deep, or a cornerback that can blitz more often, or a safety that can cover the run. And it's that Imamwari kind of thing where you get the triple-headed monster on the field, and they've got the speed and the tenacity and the technique to improve your defense by exponentially, honestly. So you get more of those players on the field, the better your defense is going to be. And I think, Sean McVay actually said in the interview that every team is looking for one of those now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what a lot of them are. A lot of people are going that route, and I think you're right. They started doing that probably about 10 years ago, and I remember specifically a former Alabama player used to be a safety, Mark Barron. They would move him in and let him play like a Swaze in-between safety and linebacker, and kind of made him be able to guard the tight ends out of the backfield and do some blitzing and all of that. So, yeah, that's a big deal. So really – it just depends. I mean, they know their need, but are they going to get out of the first round to get more draft picks so that they can maybe hit lightning in a bottle with one of these cornerbacks?
Yeah, on the draft picks. They normally have like 12 draft picks, and they trade a lot. But we don't have that this year.
Yeah, you only got 4.
I don't think we're going to have that.
Yeah, you just got 4.
So I'm really hoping that the thing that makes our defense work at Seattle so well, and I'm going to let everybody know this, is our down linemen on defense. The 4 up front, you can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. So, just picking up my order at Taco Bell. Free plug, sorry. Because you've got guys that play the down, right, and they're able to stop the run, get the pass rush, and it's just 4 of them. You've got 4 guys that are having to be blocked by 6. You've got the numbers now to do whatever you want. And I think a lot of teams are looking at that, though I think in the first round, I think the majority of teams, and this is just my take on it, especially because they want to protect their quarterback investments, they're going to go with offensive tackles.
Yeah, well, that'll be early on for sure. I think that 5 through 12 area, they're going to be tackle heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe. 7 of them. It is what it is. So we'll see.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know on Friday. So.
All right, buddy. Well, take care, and don't eat those tacos too fast, my friend.
Well, that's going to happen. So.
Thanks, Big Nate. We appreciate it. What do you think? I mean,
okay. Well, I have a couple of ideas. I think he's going to hate the Cowboys when they get to the 32nd pick, because you don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. There's talk about them trading up and grabbing somebody. They have a second pick in the first round. If they get McCoy, that's going to take the thunder out of what the Seahawks are trying to do. And that's what's really bad about being the 32nd pick.
Yeah.
And it's the least amount of people watching, because it's like 3 hours later. I mean, I don't know if the draft starts at 7?
Yeah,
and
7 Eastern, 6 Central. So
yeah, 6 Central. So it's like 3.5 hours later. Some people are just like wanting to leave the bar, because if most of the people like watching it at a bar and everything,
they're going to go
in
to
a
work.
Group atmosphere, and they're like, yeah, I got to work tomorrow. It's a Thursday night and everything, and they're going to hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because they could totally get the McCoy in the second pick. You don't know what they're going to do. There's talk about them trading up to the 6th pick with the Browns to try and take Reese. If Reese falls, because he's not going to go second, apparently, they're saying that the Jets are still going to be taking Bailey from Texas Tech.
Yeah. I don't love that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Bailey was not playing against great competition. They played against BYU twice. I mean, that should tell you their toughest games were twice against BYU, and they blew them out. So, and then they talk about all these stars that they had on the defensive side of the ball. I get it, man. He can run. He's fast. He might be a good player, but I don't love him. I don't love him at number 2. Sometimes these guys work out. Most of the times they don't. The smaller school guys, just sometimes for whatever reason, they don't pan out. And I don't think David Bailey is going to be that guy. But you're exactly right. If Reese gets bumped down, that could possibly mean that Caleb Downs gets pumped down as well.
They're saying Downs goes before Reese, and that Reese falls down to 6 from 2.
I don't know.
If he doesn't get picked.
Goes 6, I could see where
that's
somebody's
where the
like,
Cowboys are
shoot
trying to
there.
get the spot from the Browns.
Is that the greatest talk of the draft, that right there, or is it Ty Simpson? Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
It's not Ty Simpson. He's going to slide, and everybody's going to be laughing. And it's like, why'd you even come here to Pittsburgh to watch this debacle? Because you're going to slide.
You think he's going to slide?
Absolutely.
Why? You don't 100%. Think he's the best? You don't think he's the second best quarterback in this draft?
I don't think he is.
Who's the second best quarterback?
And now he's dumb. Because now he's called out the Indiana defensive coordinator saying, oh, they had a simple defense. It wasn't very complex. Well, guess what? They held you to 3 points in the playoffs when it counted. So then the Indiana defensive coordinator, why are you making him mad? You're leaving college. Well, I mean, it serves no purpose for him to say something like that when you scored 3 points on Indiana.
Yeah.
Well, that defense shut you down. So if they're not very complex, what's that say about you?
Yeah, he was
you
injured.
Couldn't even figure it out.
He was injured. He was injured. He was injured like Nussmeier.
My quarterback had assists, and he was still out there playing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
this whole injury bug thing and all that, Lagway and all of them. I don't believe them all. It's an excuse. It's an excuse. I didn't perform up to a plan because, I'm not a healthy 19 or 20-year-old. Really? Come on.
I mean, I don't know.
It's hard being young.
I know.
You got all these aches and pains.
Well, they didn't take a 2-hour nap like you did after school.
You're right. They should be hitting his weights after a 2-hour nap, eating healthy. Well,
exactly
I didn't eat healthy back then, but I ate a lot of calories.
So are we okay?
So we're talking about Ty Simpson. We're talking about the Cowboys trading up and getting. Let's talk about the Cowboys. They need cornerbacks and safeties. That's their number one priority.
Yeah.
And with the first pick, they're going to pick a linebacker. Is probably what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go defensive back, and probably back-to-back picks.
Well, so
because the Cowboys need defense. You can't allow 40 points and win a game.
Stephen Jones came out today and went ahead and let everybody know that they are going to tag George Pickens, the wide receiver from Georgia, as a franchise player. So that means that he is not going to sign a big contract with an extension, not yet. And so that means that the offense is pretty much set. It kind of makes you wonder what George Pickens is going to do, because George Pickens, he wanted wide receiver 1 type money.
Yeah.
So he believes that he is a wide receiver 1.
Well,
I don't think he wanted to play with CD being, getting the second throws. I mean, because you're going to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb first. You're going to throw the ball to George Pickens second. Now, he had a great year last year. I think he did give himself some motivation to get some more money, but wide receiver 1 money, I don't know, because the guy can be a basket case. But saying all that, if you're used to having a good offense, which is Dallas has had a good offense for the last couple of years. Yeah. Last year's defense was the problem. So you got to go heavy defense. This is a defensive draft. If you were the Cowboys and you saw Reese sitting there after the number 2 pick had already been picked and the Jets took David Bailey, what would you do?
I would sit out and wait for Styles and Downs to go and then scoop up Reese in the 5th or 6th pick.
Yeah. So what about Caleb Downs?
He reminds me of a defensive back that came out of Ohio State one time that went to the Bengals, and then he just talked a lot of smack, and I can't remember his name now, and he's from New Jersey, and I just don't believe in him. I think is more talk than anything.
Yeah.
The guy doesn't get interceptions, and everybody says, oh, well, he's a safety. He's not a cornerback. And it's like, show me something. Show me numbers. Show me proof.
So McVay has, the Cowboys at 12.
Yeah.
And he's got them getting Caleb Downs. And his words are, if they were to move up, it would be for a pass rusher. But in this situation, Dallas gets the number 5 player on the board. They can plug in Downs as an immediate impact starter and leader of the secondary. They would also be thrilled if Ruben Bain or Mansour Delane fell here.
Oh,
so there's a possibility that Bain could go there or – because they just got Rashad Gary from the Packers, so he's there.
Yeah.
He's a good defensive end. I mean, I wouldn't call him great, but I think he's good. He could revitalize his career, have, double-digit sacks, definitely a good run stopper. And, I mean, you have to go, and I hate saying this, you have to go with the 2 Ohio State guys there. If they're there, you've got to take them, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. What do you think about this Jamon McCoy? I mean, obviously we can ask Brandon tomorrow what more info about him, but I mean, when he plays, he's great. When he doesn't play, he doesn't play.
Well, he didn't play. And that's the problem, having a whole year off like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the problem is the Dolphins have the 11th pick, and they could even take a defensive back. So Delane might not be available at 12.
Well, McVay's saying that the offensive tackle out of Utah, Fano, is going to be the Dolphins pick there.
The Dolphins pick at 11.
Yeah, you got to think now. A lot of there are 6.
Before he was supposed to go top 10 easy.
Right, there's 6 or 7 tackles. You got the Proctor from Alabama. You got the guy that I can't pronounce his name from Miami, and then you've got Fano that I know of right now that are very high.
But that Utah guy was the number 1 offensive tackle back a month and a half ago, and I don't know what's happened since then. I guess it was part of his combine.
Well, the read on him says that Fano specializes as a zone blocker. This would be the perfect marriage of the best player available and a scheme fit for the Dolphins organization looking to build inside out under GM Eric Sullivan. So, I mean, if you look at it, I think the tackle position is really where, because you got a big deal right there that you're going to see. I think the tackles could possibly go back to back to back or somewhere in the middle there around that 6 to 10 to 11 area, because there's 3 like I said, those 3. And with that being said, I mean, it looks like that a lot of people are thinking that Alabama's Proctor has moved up because he's slimmed down, and I say slimmed down, he was 360 at Alabama. I think he's 330 now. But I mean, 30 pounds lighter. The pro day went well, all of that. But I mean, they're saying that there's a chance that the Browns at 6 take Caden Proctor right there. So to give their quarterback some time, and obviously we haven't talked about that. They took their first snaps yesterday. Deshaun Watson, Shadur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel. And Dylan Gabriel did not look good, by the way. Which I don't suspect him to because he's 5'9". But I mean, so that's that being said. So with Todd Monken being the new head coach for the Cleveland Browns, if they go offensive tackle right here, what does that tell you anything about their direction, or do you think? I mean, what does that tell you about Monken? Anything, or is that just that's the smartest pick, or what?
I mean, you have needs, and then you have best available. And there's teams have different schemes to doing something. But I think offensive tackle is a smart pick because, I mean, you can't have your quarterback running for his life, even if it's Deshaun Watson, who hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah. Do you think a Deshaun Watson that hadn't played for 2 years is better than a Shadur Sanders who played this year or last year?
I don't know how rusty. I know how athletes can get rusty after 1 year.
Yeah, they do.
2 years is a little scary.
Yeah.
Has he been doing what he needs to stay in shape?
He looked good. Yeah. I watched him throw, and obviously with no 300-pound defensive lineman coming after you, or
you will run for your life,
right?
Because your life depends.
But I mean,
on
he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but you know who looks good? Recommended Collision Center. 1329 Jinx Avenue. They are your spot, one-stop shop for all things customized repairs on your vehicle. You know, we were talking earlier to Aaron Bearden about having defects on your cars and your cards. See there how I said that, cars and cards. If you've got a defect on your car, Brandon and those guys are the ones that are able to take care of it. You know what they do? They go in and get it fixed. They get it fixed the right way the first time. None of this whole bringing it back, oh, we didn't do this, or oh, we forgot to put a shield in, or oh, we didn't put the right paint on it or whatever. No, sir. No way. They take care of you. 1329 Jinx Avenue. You can check them out on Facebook or the internet. They are very good at doing body work as well as any kind of minor repairs. They can take care of those too. So if your windows, we're getting ready to be in full-fledged summer, the AC, you better make sure your air conditioning works right because it's going to get hot right around the corner. So either way, go see them. Recommended Collision Center. And like I said, for a program note as well, Brandon will be on the show tomorrow with us, so we're excited about that. One of our new sponsors that's joining the team is Duplay. 287 Aberdeen Parkway, Panama City, Lynn Haven. You need to go over there and see this place. It's a beautiful facility. It's indoor. It's air conditioned. It's soccer. It's basketball. They've even got a person that is a physical trainer that gives physical training right there. They do birthday parties. They do drop-offs for your kids. They're going to do a plethora, and a plethora means a bunch of camps over the summer. It's going to be awesome. You need to go check them out. Duplay.
Do they really have indoor soccer?
They do.
Have you ever witnessed that?
Yes.
I have.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
It's so great because it's not this big old field where you have to watch three guys pass the ball around, or three girls pass the ball around all day long and nobody scores.
Yeah.
Indoor soccer's crazy, man. And you can play off the sides. It's great.
And they do that, but they also do physical training, agility, strength training, all of those things. So everything that's there right there at Duplay. Look them up on Facebook, give them a like, give them a share, and like I said, you can go over there and be a part of it. They've got all the information on their Facebook page. You can check out all the camps that they're going to have, and we're going to highlight those camps as the year goes on. So either way, when we come back, we're going to dive more into the NFL draft. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the sports talk and live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Wednesday evening. As we head into tonight, clear skies and a low of 63 with a calm wind. For tomorrow morning, sunshine with a light breeze and a temp near 76. In the afternoon and evening, a wind out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 77. For Friday, mostly sunshine and a high of 78. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, the best place in town to take a leak.
Hi, this is Goga Bitadze of the Orlando Magic, and for big reactions on the Gulf Coast,
there's a new dynasty in the NBA.
It's the Sports Blitz with my boy Paul Wilson on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Thank you very much.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget tonight the Braves travel to the Nationals. Hopefully to win one for the Gipper. I'm excited about it. So hopefully after the show, it'll be a win for the Braves. We're excited about it. The Braves are always here and always on time for you to listen. If you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. We got Jeffrey here, Bone Crushers here, and I'm excited to talk about this NFL draft. When you look at it, Jeffrey, what do you think is going to be the biggest story of the first night? Because obviously everybody and their mother knows that Fernando Mendoza is going to be the number one pick. Does it take away a little bit of its luster of being the NFL draft because we already kind of know who the number one pick is? We've done this before. We've seen where drafts have come up and we knew who the number one pick was going to be. Sometimes it's been a shocker. You know, Baker Mayfield going first. That was a shocker. Johnny Manziel going to the Browns. That was a shocker. Tim Tebow getting drafted early. That was a shocker. You know, but now we've got Francisco Mendoza, Heisman winner, national champion, going to the Las Vegas Raiders. And last night he threw out a pitch, the first pitch for the Miami Marlins. And you know how sometimes, you know, your football players, Patrick Mahomes, Phillip Rivers, you know, a lot of those guys played baseball.
Yeah.
Mendoza didn't.
No.
You could tell. His throw was awful. he didn't look like he could throw. I mean, it wasn't 50 Cent throw, but it was pretty bad. I mean, for me, I was thinking Mendoza was going to get up there, do some kind of wind-up because probably he played baseball at some point in his life, but absolutely not. Mendoza did not play baseball. So, looked pretty bad. But anyway, back to the original question. Do you think this year's draft has a lot of not a lot of shimmer and shine, not a lot of glamour because the first-round pick is already kind of decided?
Every time you think that there's not going to be this great draft or whatever, they're going to show you clips to make you believe that these players are worth something. No, they do it all the time.
Yeah.
For every quarterback that you just named, I can name Achilles Smith and Andre Ware and Rodney Peete. And these guys didn't pan out. Todd Marinovich, you know. I mean, there's tons of quarterbacks that just did not pan out. And they all went in the first round.
Yeah.
And there were disappointments. I think with one quarterback going and one running back going, maybe 3 wide receivers, and there's, 4, maybe even 5 offensive linemen going.
Maybe.
It's going to be the defense. We're going to be talking about cornerbacks. We're going to talk about edge players also. Not as much the defensive line, but I think I'm not sure what the record is for the most defensive players going in the first round, but this could rival it this year.
Really?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that the edge rusher is the most sexiest position on the defense now? That, you know, you've gotten these guys that are making such – I mean, you got your Myles Garrett's, your T.J. Watts, your Michael
Aaron
Parsons.
Donald's gone.
Yeah.
I know. I don't – I mean, shoot. With the Seahawks, not this last team that just won, but the previous team, it was the defensive backs that really kind of looked like they had just changed to being stars because the interceptions and interceptions for touchdowns were game changers. And that's what's happened, you know, 10, 12 years ago, where the defensive backs are now stars, bigger stars than defensive tackles, really.
Yeah.
I really think that that's one that's kind of – I'm not saying it is surprising.
I mean, I just think that, you know, is it overhyped? You know,
the defensive backs?
Is the defensive –
Not when they're scoring touchdowns, it isn't.
Yeah. But, you know, if you can – the NFL game has changed a little bit. They get the ball out quicker, but they do still throw the deep ball. And if you can get pressure to the quarterback, that's the biggest thing with the Bengals is that their offensive line has been so bad that you can have the greatest wide receivers, but you can't have time to throw it down the field. So realistically, the Eagles team that won the Super Bowl, that blew out Kansas City in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They were the epitome of that. are we going to start seeing that more to where they have all of these players on the front line that are getting after the quarterback to try to get the ball out of his hand early? And then, I mean, because you can name all of the stars on that defensive front for the Eagles, but the backside, the back end, yeah, there's some names, but not a bunch of names.
So I'm surprised because it sounds like you're mainly believing, and I'm telling you, there's more screen passes than there ever has been in the NFL now. And is it that we don't have the confidence in the quarterback getting it down the field, or is it that the defensive line is protruding at you at a rapid rate?
The linebackers now are so fast that if you miss the block, if you miss that block, the linebackers is eating that screen up, and that's the deal. You can't allow, if you're going to throw a screen or whatever, you better get out there, because if you can't get out there, that's the biggest thing about if you look at the linemen about, used to you'd have a 320-pound offensive tackle or whatever, and he would just be the man. But when you look at how, they're wanting you to be a little bit lighter, because those edge rushers are so fast now. And to your point, when you go out into the screen game, you got to get that tackle out there. You got to get that guard out there. If you're pulling or if you're going, you got to get him out there and be able to block that linebacker. And sometimes those linebackers are so fast, they just blow right past you and they just eat him up in the backfield. We're going to go ahead and go to the line. We got a special guest on the line, a little shocker for you, Mr. Buddy Martin. How you doing today, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing good. I've just been trying to dial you guys all the way from
Gainesville.
I think we lost you. Are you there?
I'm here. Hold on.
Okay.
He's ordering Taco Bell. I'm joking.
Okay. The Bone Crusher didn't put me on air, huh?
Yes, you are there, ready to go.
Yeah, but see, I had all that good stuff ready for you, and now it didn't make it air. So there you go.
You're on air, buddy.
Hey, I wanted to tell you, you're talking about a time, back in my time, where I knew a little about the Mets and Jets and all that stuff. Lived in New York City 3 times, and you guys were just loading past and did a good job, but you got to remember what happened in '69. It wasn't the effect of the entire area of New York City. It changed everything, the dynamics of the NFL, Joe Namath and the Mets and all that stuff changed everything. And I know that didn't necessarily make it relevant today, although some of that is. I just wanted to say one day we got more time, I'll share a few stories with you about those days of the Mets and Jets and what have you, and Joe Namath and et cetera, and traveling with the Jets and the things that happened. But more importantly, if I may put in a shameless plug,
yes,
I have a show tonight. I'm back on the air in Panama City. I've been doing it in Ocala and Gainesville. I took a trip to Gainesville, got it all straightened out, got the football program squared away, got Thomas Howell re-signed, done all that before I left, and I drove back today and left them in good shape. And now I'm here to save the world in Panama City. So we'll be doing the Buddy Martin show tonight online, and my guest is going to be, ready? Paul Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Doing NFL stuff. And we've got also Franz Beard, who will give you the detailed information on Thomas Howell. I'll call him Elvis Howell. And he's one of my favorite players of all time in Florida. And I love that guy. I'm so thrilled he's coming back.
Yes.
Listen, in a day's era where to criticize players about wanting money, this guy said money never mattered. And of course he's making $3 or $4 million, but still, he wasn't after the money. He wasn't chasing the money. Let's exalt the guy and players, which he seems to have, who don't just follow the dollar,
yes,
the almighty dollar. Let's give him a little bit of. Do we have Bone Crusher? Do we have any applause or anything?
Yes.
Play a little soundtrack for these guys who just say, "Hey, I want to go back to my boys."
That's right.
There you go. There it is. Tommy Hop, for the guys who don't go for the almighty buck on everything. So that's a great story, and they're going to be pretty good at football. So, and tonight we're going to resolve the draft, because right here on our show tonight on the podcast, Mr. Paul Wilson of ESPN Northwest Florida is going to reveal the true information about the draft. He's holding back for everybody else on tonight's show.
That's right. Well, buddy, we sure do appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much, and be careful, and I will talk to you tonight.
Walks from home, and I can't wait.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, buddy. Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. But, I mean, when you look at it with the draft, the Jets people, to his point,
yeah,
every draft you hear Jets, Jets.
Because
the whole time.
Because the draft was in New York for
like
50 years.
Listen tonight, my friend. Listen tonight. You will hear the Jets talking tonight. It's in Pittsburgh.
Because it's miserable. They pick horrible. They're one of the worst draft teams of all time.
But they always are there. They are a team.
It's aggravating for every Dolphins fan, including me. It's like we laugh at them. No, it's laughable. That's what it is. For anybody. Patriots, Dolphins, Bills probably hate them the least in the whole division.
Yeah. No, that's true, and I get it. But because they haven't been relevant, you might laugh at them, but it doesn't really matter because they're not doing anything on the field, and that's the problem. So speaking of the field.
Look, at 1969. Do you not understand Woodstock, landing on the moon, height of the Vietnam War? This is not even a top 4 occasion of the whole year of 1969.
We're not.
It was a landmark year.
We're not going.
And the Miracle Mets and whatever you want to call the Jets, the '69 Jets they're not in the conversation.
All I'm saying is the all of that stuff was good up until you got to the moon thing. I just don't know. I don't know. We're not going there. We're not going to get you and Bone Crusher mad at me.
Let me talk to you for one thing on the mock drafts that I've seen.
Yeah,
I look like 10 or 12 of them. There's only 4 names listed that could go in the top 3 picks.
Yeah.
And it's Love, the running back, Mendoza, the quarterback, Reese, and Bailey. And that's it. That's the only 4 people who have been interchanged in those top 3 picks.
Well, if you want to add 5, if you want to name 5, because Styles is listed at 4. But they've moved Jeremiah Love up to 4 to possibly go. I've heard Arizona, Titans, and then possibly, and this would be stupid to me, Giants.
Giants?
At 5.
Oh.
See what I mean? I mean, McShay's got him at 5, and they got Sonny Styles going to the Titans at 4.
At 4.
Yeah.
So
and then,
Styles still doesn't break into the top 3 in that one.
Right. They got Arvell Reese at 3.
Yeah.
But if you read what he says in the 3rd pick, if you understand that their priority, number 1, is trading back, picking up extra ammo for a Ty Simpson move up from round 2 to round 1. So if they can get rid of that 3rd pick for another first round and then a possible 2nd, then whenever they feel like Ty Simpson could go, whether it be with Pittsburgh or something else, then you could see where Arizona could then say, hey, we'll give you 2 first rounds and maybe 1 next year for that pick right there. And then I'm sure people would jump all over it.
Do the Cardinals or Titans need more to get to the playoffs?
Yes, a lot
more.
No,
which one? The Cardinals?
Cardinals, because they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
They don't have a quarterback.
That's true.
The NFL is built on a quarterback, and you can like Cam Ward or you can dislike Cam Ward, but they've got a quarterback. He's played 1 year. He's the number one thing about him that, if I can say this, is that he's been healthy. A lot of times these guys come from the college game and then they come to this treacherous NFL schedule and they have to play it and they get hurt. It's a long it wears and tears on your body. But I'm just saying, the good thing about the Titans, and Titan fans, if you're listening, whether you want Cam Ward to throw for 5 million yards and 45 touchdowns, that's fine. But the good thing is that he stayed healthy and now he's into his 2nd year. And I think that that's something to build on. They just can't throw it all out there with just 1 pick, though. They need more than 1. You got some wide receivers. You've got some good things going. Your coach has got a lot of experience. But with that being said, you got Brian Daboll there working with Cam Ward. Is he a better coordinator than he was a head coach?
Yeah.
I say yes.
Yeah, he is.
So if you look at that, then yeah, you've got. I say the Titans are far ahead of Arizona. Arizona's got a brand new coach. They don't really have a quarterback, and I mean that's it. You know, so either way, when you look at it, give me the Titans definitely having a better. But I do think that there's a possibility that Arizona jumps in and grabs Ty Simpson before Pittsburgh does.
What I hate about it is you do not know who won the draft until at least Friday night after the second and third round.
See, I don't think so. I don't think you know who won the draft until after the first season. I think the season.
Well,
I say give me a season.
Yeah,
I say
but
give me
no.
a season because
But
you
no,
know as
you
well
can
as I
tell.
do.
We're going to on that Monday. We're going to give our. I think it's that's not May 4th.
But
anyway, whatever next the 27th.
Well, look at the
27th.
following year.
We're going to
Can you say that the Giants knocked it out of the park with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo? Well, you don't know because they didn't play much.
Yeah, but when you have so many good picks that they slid down to somebody, there's ones that get, and plus the multiple picks. When you have like 12 picks, and then the Seahawks have 4, it's hard to win. You can't win a draft by having 4 picks like the Seahawks, especially at 32.
Somebody wrote that Cam Ward that he's too fast. They couldn't catch him. That's why he couldn't get hurt. So there you go. Well, we appreciate that. But you know what's fast? Our break. We're going to go ahead and take one right now, and we'll be right back. We're going to be talking about the NFL draft and finish it up. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lock it in and rip the knob off. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has turned up the power.
I'm getting it off, James. God, Captain.
From Port St. Joe to Panama City to Fort Walton Beach, the biggest sports signal in the Panhandle.
If I push it any harder, the whole thing will blow.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, where the listeners call the plays.
That's a big factor in what Florida State's going to do for the future of this program.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back in live right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and you're locked in. Don't forget, if you want to, we still got about 15 minutes left. If you want to call in or text in on the call or text line, 850-215-6290. Don't forget the Braves right after we leave from the show. First pitch is as soon as I say goodbye. So either way, check in with the Braves. Hopefully they'll win. Let's talk about this real quick because we got a second. The NFL draft, we'll talk about it big time tomorrow because it's tomorrow night. Let's move over to the NBA. Tonight's games we will talk about, but let's talk about last night. Something big happened.
Oh, yeah.
Second quarter, Wembanyama, concussion.
Mm-hmm.
They tripped him, and he fell and hit his face on the floor, on his chin.
I'm sure he's
Concussed.
got like size 20 shoes. It's how do you not trip this guy?
Yeah,
he's
right.
a giant.
Yeah. How long of a fall is that?
I mean,
I just don't. He had the ball in his hand, and when he come through the lane, they tripped him, and I don't know if he was trying to shoot or pass or what, but he couldn't get his hands up to stop his fall.
Because he got the ball.
Yeah. So he fell on his
head.
He fell on his face, his chin. They almost won, but they didn't.
Lost by 3.
They lost by 3.
If he goes down,
if he's not there, it's a different team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's just like your best player. If your best player goes down, I don't care what sport it is. If Mendoza would have gotten hurt last year in the Alabama game, they probably wouldn't have won the championship, right? I mean, look at what the Chiefs did when Patrick Mahomes got hurt. They didn't go anywhere. Look at anybody.
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah,
no. What happened there?
They didn't win the Super Bowl that year, did they?
But they had already been to the Super Bowl and lost to Favre.
But they didn't.
Bledsoe was the best player on that Patriots team before he went down. And then what did they do without him in 2001?
Right, but that was
right after 9/11. Does that sound like it's rigged? Patriots after 9/11? Wow.
It was the following year. It wasn't the year, right?
No, it was. It was 2002, right after 9/11. The Patriots upset a stacked Rams team.
Yeah. Well,
and that stacked Rams team, the greatest show on turf, what did they score? Like 16 or 19? Something stupid like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they scored, but I'm just saying.
It was not good.
It wasn't good because
Maybe
Bill Belichick's defense was fantastic. And if you look at it, let's talk about that. If you look at Tom Brady really didn't throw for 1,000,000 yards in Super Bowls. It was always a defensive deal. He handed the ball off and do checkdowns a lot of the times. The only time they didn't, the times where he threw a lot of yards was with Randy Moss, and they lost. So when Tom Brady was really throwing great numbers in the Super Bowl game itself, they didn't win.
I think you better talk to Peyton Manning because he ran into him in the playoffs too many times.
Well, yeah.
Peyton Manning could have 5 rings.
Yeah.
If
Tom Brady wasn't there. Yeah.
You're right.
But, I mean, how many rings would Magic have if Bird wasn't there? Or how many Bird have if Magic wasn't there?
Magic might have had 6.
I'm saying.
No, I mean, like,
and
legit.
how many would Wilt Chamberlain have compared to Bill Russell if Bill Russell wouldn't have been there? Right?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, so that's a big task.
Yeah.
So anyway, last night's games.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't like him.
Lakers.
I know you don't like him. I know you don't like him. LeBron James. I mean, Father Time is being rewound.
Yeah.
Are we saying that the Lakers are going to – they went 2-0. LeBron is 32-0 in playoff games, in playoff series when he's up 2-0. So are we going to say that the Rockets are going to lose to LeBron James, who Luka and Austin Reeves both are on the bench because they're both injured? Are we saying that that's going to happen? Now, let me read this stat to you just so you understand where we are with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, 7 straight playoff losses for Kevin Durant since his last win, May the 7th, 2023. He has had 1,081 days since Kevin Durant has won a playoff game. So yesterday I was talking about Kevin Durant comes back, it'll be a difference, it'll be a difference, it'll be a difference. I was wrong. It did not make a difference. LeBron James, I'm not a big fan of LeBron James. I'm not. I don't love him. But LeBron James is leading this team. Now, you got some other players that are playing a lot of minutes. They're doing whatever they can do. Luke Kennard's playing 40 minutes in a game. But I'm just saying, the Lakers, we could possibly be talking about the Lakers next week being in the second round of playoffs.
What's the broadcast guy who became the Lakers coach?
J.J. Redick.
Yeah, I don't like him. But anyway, he's defensively, though, he's the one that's taken KD out of this. And KD even said that.
Well, it was his first game back. So if the Lakers win, they got to play OKC because OKC plays tonight 1 versus 8 against the Phoenix Suns. Yeah. And you said, what was the spread on this game?
17.5. Give me the under. You're going to call me crazy for taking the Suns, but 17.5 is insane.
So you believe in Devin Booker is going to be able to keep it under
17.5.
17.5 points.
That's crazy. The other 1-8 setup, I want you to guess what that spread is.
2.
It's 8.5.
What?
Yeah, and that's the Magic who won Game 1. They're an 8.5-point underdog to the 1-seed Pistons.
Oh, that's
tonight.
Wrong. Because 3.5 points was the first game at Detroit. What happened? They just believe Detroit's going to. They just believe Detroit's going to come back and get them.
Yeah. The 3 games tomorrow, 1.5, 2.5, 2.5 point spread on tomorrow's
But
games.
those are the only 2, 1 versus 8, which is tonight, right?
The two that are tonight are 1 versus 8. That should be the biggest spread. But compared to 1.5, 2.5, 2.5, I mean, this is insane. 17.5. The Thunder are basically just look at it as a cinch tonight.
Right.
And that's the late game.
So are you gonna play wise tonight?
I'll bet you. Do you want to? Okay, we're not betting money. Wink, wink. Would you take that bet? Would you take the Thunder with 17.5?
Yes, I would. I think the Thunder's going to win by
after this show.
I think the Thunder's going to win by 20. I think they'll win by 20 tonight. I don't think it's going to be close.
That's insane.
I think they're gonna roll it in and be done. I think this series is a wash. It's a nothing. I know they've had a little bit of words here and there, but if you believe the NFL is rigged, then why wouldn't you believe the NBA is rigged? And OKC is definitely going to get the calls tonight, right?
Well, there was a lot of referees that have been called out in the NBA for fixing games and everything. So.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but there's always talk about how SGA has the calls, and so.
You want to talk about something else that's been rigged?
Not really. You're scaring me right now.
This whole baseball thing with the ABS. Okay.
What?
Do you know what's the stat that's been entirely...
Is it ABS or is it ABP?
ABS.
Okay.
Yeah. They're probably going to break a record this year, and it's the most walks.
Yeah.
They're on pace to be just... They're just going way up compared to last year.
I'm going to tell you this. The way the ball moves now, the way they throw it, the spin that they put on it, it's the most they've ever had before.
Okay.
And I can tell you...
But compared to last year, the percentage change is unreal.
Yeah.
And it's partly because of ABS.
Yeah. Well, because they've missed so many calls. If you remember last year, they missed a lot of calls, but this year it seems like they're missing more. I mean, last night I was watching, and there was a 3-inch miss. Called it a strike. It was 3 inches off the plate.
Was this in the 9th inning, though?
No.
Because you have these free challenges, and the managers simply just don't want to, in the game, having challenges in their bag. And that's why in the 9th inning, they have to question it. Because they're like, I don't want to waste it. I want to use it this game.
And I get it, man. But these guys make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And they shouldn't be missing some of these calls that they miss. It's so far. And, the catchers now, they can frame it so good. They make it look so good. But there's a lot of them that they're missing a lot of calls, and it's almost embarrassing. And it's bringing back excitement to the game because when people when they hear it, when they tap their head, I mean, everybody's on the edge of their seat, and they're watching the screen, and all of a sudden it shows, and then they don't just show it. They show it by how much. That's the embarrassing part. I mean, if you miss it by a quarter of an inch, okay, anybody would have missed that. But 3 inches, that's a far.
But the difference between football and basketball compared to baseball is this is a simple math.
Right.
Yeah, it's cut and dry. There's no debating, oh, that was pass interference, It's all debatable. Where, the strike zone, it's math.
Yeah.
It's not debatable.
No, that's true. Well, getting back
to... So is that the hardest, you umpire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the hardest sport to be a referee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball is the hardest by far behind the plate. Now
and you don't have to worry just about parents in the stands.
No,
grandparents.
That's right. That's true. Sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts.
My father-in-law, and I'm not saying he was old at the time, but he was a grandfather.
Yeah.
And it was his grandson's game. It wasn't my son. It was my nephew. Got kicked out of the place for yelling at the umpire.
Well, I've never thrown anybody out.
You should.
Of the game. But I'm just saying, it's...
It gets toxic, man.
Can I tell you a little story about what the Orlando Coach Mosley, did for the Orlando Magic in their first game?
What did they do?
It's pretty unique. I'm going to read it to you. He decided to scrap the Magic's usual film session before the biggest shoot-around of the season, right? Uh-huh. Instead of breaking down the opponent, he played a 3-minute highlight reel of the players that are on the team, their NCAA glory days, to remind them of who they really are.
Wow. That's inspiring.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You feel inspired?
I do.
Yeah. And I think they won. So you know what I would say, Coach Mosley? Do it again. Yeah. Show me again how great I am, because it worked. And, I mean, with that being said, you think the Magic can do it? I mean, really? Do you think?
I think they could beat the Pistons.
You think they can get out of that first round?
I hope so. I mean, I have hope for them.
Yeah.
I think they can do it.
I mean, the recipe for success is very clear. I mean, Suggs has got to score. Banchero has got
it's got to be a team effort.
Yeah, they got to do exactly what they get. They got to have definite more people in double-digit scoring. They're going to have to push for it. And, they're going to have to limit Detroit's offensive rebounds. No offensive rebounds.
So do you know who the 4 and 5 seed are on that side?
Yeah.
Let's just forget about the 5 because it's the Raptors.
Yeah, they're gone.
The Cavs are up 2-0 in that series. They're the only other one that's 2-0 other than the Lakers. So the Cavs. Can they get past the Cavs is the question.
Well, let's just get past the Detroit first.
One at a time.
I mean, because I'm really hoping, and that's really where I'm at, because, that's who our station supports. We play their games. Yeah. We've given away tickets. And, I'm hoping for the Magic to be rejuvenated tonight and win. I know that, that's a lot of points. 8.5. They usually are close to that, but they said 3.5 the first game, and it was a blowout. And, I mean, the Magic won 31 points. Yeah. But I'm just going to let you know, I'm going to be in bed. Don't text me tonight when
No,
SGA,
it's the early game.
I'm talking about the second game that I've told you that it's going to be definitely more than 17.5 points. Don't text me tonight telling me you were right.
Tomorrow morning. I'll just ask for my money.
No. Well, we've done it. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, tomorrow we got a big show lined up. We got to talk about the big draft. So right now, the Braves are coming on.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
That ball is going to be out of here.
The Atlanta Braves are crushing it.
Look out, Chop House. Gone.
And tonight, the NL East leading Bravos are taking it to the Washington Nationals. First pitch from D.C. coming up at 6 right here on your spot for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Wednesday evening. As we head into tonight, clear skies and a low of 63 with a calm wind. For tomorrow morning, sunshine with a light breeze and a temp near 76. In the afternoon and evening, a wind out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour, sunny and a high around 77. For Friday, mostly sunshine and a high of 78. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Got a scratch, dent, or full-blown wreck? Bring it to Recommended Collision Center in Panama City. From small scratches to all-over paint jobs, from fender